Good morning, everyone. Today we have Siddharth Nagpal with us, who is in IIM Ahmedabad right now. As you can see in the video, he is in his room in IIM Ahmedabad, and he cracked IIM Ahmedabad. He appeared for most of the interviews like Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, and so we'll discuss with him regarding his strategy, how he cracked IIM Ahmedabad interview, and other colleges, how he faced, what was his experience. So welcome, Siddharth. So Siddharth, most of the students will be appearing for the interviews. So they are preparing for the GDPI process and all. So we would like to know from you, how was your interview experience, especially IIM Ahmedabad, and then maybe we can talk about other colleges. So please tell us about the Ahmedabad experience.
Yeah, sure, sir. So Ahmedabad, I remember, was different from other interviews because I had to go to the Gurgaon center and give it, because rest of the
Mm-hmm.
interviews were happening from home only.
Okay.
So yeah, so Ahmedabad has that written ability test before the interview. So that was for
Mm-hmm.
about 20 to 25 minutes. And my topic was something related to government response on COVID during the COVID crisis on similar
Okay.
lines, and make
Mm-hmm.
recommendations for the same. And yeah, and after that follows the interview. So the
Mm-hmm.
interview began with the general questions that introduce yourself, and that what have you done, where have you worked in the past, and what have you worked on. So, and
Okay.
that is followed by questions on my subjects of study,
Mm-hmm.
and more related to my work experience. So, for
Okay.
example, one of the important themes was like the current trends in computer science. I've done my engineering in computer science. So, what are the
Right.
current happenings in the field of artificial intelligence, and privacy related issues related to
Mm-hmm.
the social media platforms and things like these. And
Right.
the third part is the general hobbies and what do you do in your free time.
Okay. Okay. So how many panel members were there in the interview?
There were two panel members. Both of them
Okay.
were professors from IIM.
Professors. And how long was the duration
The
of the
duration
interview?
was around 35 to 40 minutes. Yeah.
40 minutes. Okay. And were there generic questions like why MBA and about yourself and hobbies? All these were there?
Yeah, hobbies was there, but why MBA was not there in my case. But yeah, but
Okay.
similar questions are asked to other candidates.
And was the current affairs touched upon the recent happenings in the country?
Sorry. Yeah, it was more so the recent happenings in my field of work. For example, I had worked in a software company, so what are the
Okay.
happenings there and things like these.
So developments, recent developments in your area of work or area of study, right? That was the
Yes.
focus.
Yeah.
Fine. So, any unique question, any specific question which you still remember, or a couple of
Mm,
questions which you can tell?
yeah, so I had marked reading as my hobby. I had said reading as my hobby. So there were a couple of questions on the books that I had read, and they were
Okay.
quite in depth. Like, what are the learnings from your readings, and similar
Okay.
questions, and a couple of questions that were related to the field of artificial intelligence really surprised me because they were quite in depth, and
Mm-hmm.
like the algorithms that are used and similar questions. So I think that is what I remember from.
Okay. So, hobbies needs to be prepared well because hobbies they can go in depth, right?
Yes,
Fine.
yes, because that is something that you are saying, so that needs to be prepared well.
So whatever you are saying, whatever you are talking, you need to be prepared well. That's a common suggestion which we give also. Whenever you are preparing your answers, be prepared for the follow-up questions and the backup questions
Yes,
which can come. So that's
right.
important, right? So talking about other interviews like I am Lucknow interview, Bangalore, Calcutta, which you gave. So tell us about the interview experience in those colleges.
Okay, so Ahmedabad interview is different because you cannot assess what's happening there because the questions are very open-ended. But in Bangalore,
Mm-hmm.
the questions are more related to your that SOP that we submit beforehand and your work
SOP.
experience, SOP. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that is the main area of focus there. You need to be very well versed because they really go into depth about why you have written something and what does it mean.
Okay. So I
So
am Bangalore. That's SOP is the theme around which the interview revolves, right?
yes,
Student has to prepare that well.
yes, yes,
And
and I
yeah,
sorry.
I
Yeah,
am
and I
Lucknow
remember
interview.
I am Lucknow was completely based upon my undergrad studies.
Okay,
It was
graduation,
completely academic.
academic in nature. And
Yeah.
about Calcutta.
So Calcutta is my Calcutta interview was completely about general knowledge, general awareness, like the current
Okay.
happenings in the world and things like
Hmm.
these. And but a Calcutta also asks sometimes. It was not in my case, but they do also ask maths questions like basic
Yes.
integration and basic differentiation questions.
Yes, 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 yes. So, since you talked about your discussion with friends, you must have discussed among your friends how their Ahmedabad interview went. So, any specific trend which you find among your friends? Any specific query which is asked?
Because yeah, so one specific theme that is common across is that you cannot assess what's going on in Ahmedabad interview, because most of
Right.
the times you will feel that your interview is not going well,
But then
so
you are
you
qualified.
have, yeah, but then you qualify it. So but you have to manage that thing when you feel that your interview is not going well, because that is very common in Ahmedabad.
Mm-hmm. So basically, keeping you calm, composed, and even if you don't know answers, you have to be patient and not panic, right? So that is
Yes,
something
because
we followed.
yes,
And
because they will push you to a point that where you will not know the answer, because continuously why is
yeah,
something that you will.
probing, getting deeper, deeper into a question, then there will be a point where you will not know. That's true.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right. So, taking a sum of it, what you told about Bangalore, Lucknow, and Calcutta, I think when a student is preparing for GDPI, he or she will have to take care of all the areas, their academic background, the current affairs happening in the in and around the world, and obviously the area where you have worked, your field of study. Everything has to be prepared because anybody who is getting 99.5 plus, most probably they'll get calls from most of the IIMs. So the preparation has to be done, right?
Yes.
Fine. So, one last question: what will you advise to the current students who are in who are appearing this year, who are basically who will be giving interviews in Feb? What would you advise? How should they prepare their process, and how should they ace the interviews?
I think I have a couple of tips only. That first of all is to be very well versed with what's happening around you, and
Right.
to be updated. The second thing is that that you should be very, you should brush up your undergrad studies, and
Mhm.
what you studied, and basically what you call it as your core strength, because sometimes what they do is they ask what are your interests and things like these.
Right.
So that is where, because that is something that you say, so you need to be very well, like very well versed with what you are saying. And the third thing is that you need to have a couple of hobbies or a couple of interests
Mhm.
which you can
Mhm.
say that you do in your free time.
Right, right, right. So I think the students will take a cue from this and prepare well for the interviews. We wish everyone all the best. And Siddharth, thanks for giving your time. Thanks for guiding the students. And I'm very
Yeah, no
hopeful
issues, sir.
people will prepare well. So all the best and all the best everyone for your GDPI. In case you have any queries, you can put in the comment section. We'll be happy to answer. Thanks again, Siddharth. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah.